is a breaking news alert from 24-hour News 8.
We have breaking news right now in Kent County. Northbound US-131 is shut down at 10 Mile for multiple crashes between 10 and 12 Mile. This is near Rockford.
Here's what police are telling us right now. The closure is due to numerous car crashes as a result of rapidly forming ice on the road surface. At this point, we don't know of any injuries. We don't believe there are any, and none have been reported anyway. The closure expected to last for a while.
We have 24-hour News 8 Steve Calso heading there. We want to go to him live right now on the phone. He's on the road right now with a look at conditions. Steve?
Hey, good afternoon, Emily and Brett. You can see we're just getting around this roadblock here at 10 Mile. You can see the emergency vehicles are still arriving at the scene. The accident scene is many miles up here. It has been a long, hard slog just to get from downtown Grand Rapids up to this point. Visibility is closing in, and the surface of the road is almost ice. What's it feel like driving on it, Bill? A little nerve-wracking. Yes. So it's a little slick. Bill Curdy's behind the wheel there. We're all buckled up and ready to get up there. And we have no idea what we're going to find when we get up there, but we wanted to show you this as quickly as we could because there's no reason to be out on this roadway at all. So we wanted to show you this immediately, and we'll get you more live reports and more coverage as soon as we can get back up there. What are you guys hearing back at the station about what's going on here?
We haven't heard of any reported injuries so far, Steve. We don't believe that anybody is necessarily hurt here, but obviously this is a serious situation up there. Hey, I saw that you went around that roadblock there. Was that Post Drive that you went around?
I believe that was 10 Mile. Was that 10 Mile, Bill? Yeah, that was 10 Mile. The truth is, while I was hooking up this camera, there's so little visibility, I can't even tell where the heck I am.
The truth is, while I was hooking up this camera, there's so little visibility.
Yeah, so you're having a tough time kind of figuring out the location you're at, obviously. But, I mean, so you're past 10 Mile now. A lot of this stuff, the problem is between 10 and 12 Mile, right?
Is that what you're hearing? I'm curious to know what you were hearing. Bilal and I were actually out getting ready to do another story when we got the call about, I don't know, half an hour ago to start heading this direction. And it's taken us that long to get up here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you went past 10 Mile there, then you should be coming up on some of these wrecks here shortly here, because it's in that 2 mile stretch between 10 and 12 Mile. They say that they've shut down the road at this point due to this rapidly deteriorating conditions out there. They say that it's because of the ice that's formed on the road. Is that what you're seeing there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know how well you can make it out in these pictures, but it looks like over in the passing lane there does seem to be like a path where trucks have been through and salting and maybe putting down other material. But the lane that we're in, the regular travel lane, it looks to be very, very slick. I don't have a real good feel for it because I'm not behind the wheel, but that's what it would appear. And if you look off to the side here, you can see a lot of people have taken little excursions on and off of this roadway. So I can see how it happens. You know, we've had a lot of trouble with this stretch of road in the past during winter.
That's exactly right, Steve. I mean, constantly, every season, we end up having people somewhere between Post Drive and 12 Mile. They run off the roads here. Just so you know, as you're headed north there right now, we understand there is one patient that was not transported. The injuries were not great enough to have them transported. We just got off the phone with an ambulance company who says that one patient was treated at the scene, more or less. So we don't expect any major injuries here, but we do expect to see a lot of crunched cars.
Well, that's good news, at least. I'm glad to hear that as we head up there. And I keep waiting for it to come around the corner any time here. I'm not really sure how far up it is. It feels like it's taken a while to travel those 2 miles, but it's just that we're going so slowly. Well, now I'm starting to see some cherries up here. So hang with me a bit. We may have some good live pictures here for you in just a second.
Yeah, how the road conditions were when you left from wherever you were? Are they getting worse going further north?
You know, I just call it consistently bad, to be honest with you, Brett. I can't tell that it's any worse up here than it was in downtown. This roadway certainly is a lot worse than anything we encountered in downtown Grand Rapids. This, it's fairly passable, really. And we're starting to come up on some slid-off cars here. I concentrate on shooting some of these pictures for you here.
Yeah, what we're seeing here looks like they've already got one of the cars with a wrecker as we're driving by it right there. So, and up further yet? Yeah, there you go. Somebody off the side of the road, huh?
Yeah, somebody off the side of the road there. Oh, there's another one on this side of the road. MSTs up here. Got a bunch of wreckers. The wrecker's already putting one on board there. Taxi's already here picking somebody up. That's kind of impressive, actually.
Yeah, you're right. When this was first described, they described it as a pileup, but in this case, it looks like more like at least so far, multiple slide-offs.
Yeah, I don't know really what I've seen so far. I can't describe it as a pileup, but like I said, I'm not sure really what we're going to be getting into up here. It looks like the meat and potatoes of this thing is up ahead of me here. I don't know if you can see all those strobes through my lens here. We've got a pretty grody windshield, so.
Yeah, it's kind of a drive of discovery right now with you guys as we're watching all these live pictures come in here and getting our first view of this accident. Just to recap here, everybody, Steve, this is 131 north of 10 Mile right now. Between 10 and 12 Mile, they've shut down the road completely. That we know of at least one person who was hurt, but not hurt badly enough to go to the hospital, treated at the scene sort of thing. At least 20 cars or so involved here, but we don't see any pileup at this point. Steve Kelso's along the road right now, headed north, just coming into what you call the meat of the wreck here. We are expecting to see more cars involved the further Steve gets north here. So what are you seeing right now, Steve?
Oh, yeah, look up here now, Brett. We're just now able to see it. I don't know if I can get the camera to show you, but there are multiple cars off here to the left, multiple squad cars, multiple emergency personnel. Looks to be a tractor trailer down in the ditch on the right-hand side of the road. This is a mess. You don't want to come through this. Luckily, so far, what we're looking at here is pretty minor damage, it looks like, to a lot of these vehicles. But, what an inconvenience for your day, huh?
Yeah, no doubt about that. So you guys are now pulled off to the side of the road and stop?
Yeah, we've now pulled off the side of the road. We're going to get out and get some closer photographs, see if maybe we can talk to somebody, find out just what exactly happened here. My guess is snow had a lot to do with it.
Probably pretty simple what happened there, no doubt. People saw
there's just a whole lot of it here, though. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you get to work on talking to some of the police officers who are out there. Let's send things over to Laura in the 24-hour tracking center with Emily right now.
Yeah. In the meantime, we are in the tracking center here. And Laura, I want to see exactly what we're dealing with here as far as the radar.
Yeah, let's put the radar up for you so you can see what's happening right now across southwest lower Michigan. Now, the way that lake effect works here is it happens a little bit closer to the ground. So many times you get that circular blob that tries to show up around the radar site, which is actually located in and about right here. So it looks like a circle. It doesn't mean it's only snowing in that location, but eventually out in this direction, the radar beam is too high. It's shooting over the top of those cloud taps and over the top of the lake effect snow itself. Now let me zoom in to show you what's happening in the Rockford area right now along US-131. Of course, here's 131 heading north out of Grand Rapids. Of course, you can head south as well. You get north of the Rockford exit, if you're familiar with this area at all, right around 10 Mile there. Once you get north of where you'd get off to go to the Meyer, there's a couple coffee shops there as well. You head northward and it's a very open area. So we've got some stronger winds taking place as well, blowing some of that snow across the open freeway. There's actually several areas where there's not even trees that really protect, especially that northbound side of US-131. So we've got that sheet ice that's trying to develop on there. Not to mention you could see where Steve and Blow were actually driving north. One lane almost completely covered with snow. The other one, in most cases, looking like a two-track. So the snow continues to come down. The darker blues indicating that heavier snowfall. If you're not moving at all, we actually have those visibilities that are down below a quarter mile in many locations. And as far as treating the roads goes, when you have temperatures that are as cold as they've been today, we started out near 10 above this morning. Some locations were near 5 above. Near the US 12 corridor away from Lake Michigan, Sturgis to Coldwater. Grand Rapids was close to 10. We've just now gone to 18 within about the past 10 to 15 minutes. 18 is about that benchmark number where if you're below 18 degrees, salt really doesn't work very well, if at all. And then once you get a little bit lower than that, even those de-icing solutions they use don't work nearly as well. You can lay some sand down, but they've got to keep up with the rate the snow is coming down, which in some cases here, I would estimate could be close to an inch per hour in the heaviest snow bursts, and then that blowing and drifting blows the sand around and ends up getting covered up. So we can take you back to the radar again, and you'll be able to see exactly what's happening in the Rockford area itself. We have the snow coming down, darker blues showing up, and this is the case across all of southwest lower Michigan. The biggest problems right now, the heaviest snow coming down from locations around the, let's say, Saugatuck area down to around South Haven, just to the northwest of Kalamazoo, so Allegan to, say, Otsego, Plainwell, north on 131 as you head into parts of extreme northwestern Berry County, coming down a little bit heavier, and then through all of Kent County as well. I think our heaviest snow totals today are going to be from a line near Saugatuck to around Lowell to, say, Howard City, back to the west. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at another batch of snow. It is going to be a similar situation. Folks, if you're watching at home right now saying you've got to work in the morning, you kids have got school in the morning, conditions starting around 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow are going to be very similar to what's been happening over the last couple of hours, and that will last through at least the noon hour tomorrow. So we are going to have some challenge time periods coming up, not only for the rest of this afternoon, but again, starting very early tomorrow morning.
Well, I tell you what, Laura was spot on today, and she has quite a warning for tomorrow morning's commute.
Yeah,
taking that very seriously.
Kind of a precursor to the situation people may be facing as they head on the roads tomorrow. And later on today, obviously, this one's not done here, but we do have some news to tell you about. One lane has been opened up now.
Northbound 131 at 10 Mile.
Yeah, so now letting traffic through there, although it's still a very treacherous situation to go up there. And some really good news, too, that we were able to learn while Steve was out on, traveling north here, is that only one person was injured, and they were minor injuries that we know of so far.
Exactly.
So a lot of cars off the side of the road, 131 down to one lane between 10 Mile and 12 Mile. They're going to open up the rest of the road hopefully here relatively shortly. We will keep you informed here. I do want to have a programming note for everybody out there that's watching, because a lot of people watch Days of Our Lives during this hour. We understand that that's an important program to you, just as important as it is to know this information here. We don't have an answer on if we're going to be able to rebroadcast this or not, but we're looking into that.
We're working on
Look
it.
at watchwoodtv.com. We'll let you know if there's anything that we can do to bring that programming back for you. But for now, we're going to go back to Days. Stay with us.